Well, hey everybody, it's Curdy. I am coming to you from the Lower Key Peninsula in Washington State in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and we are camping. So for the holiday weekend, and the Tour de Fleece is getting ready to start for July 2026. So this is not my normal filming setup. We're in our travel trailer, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear the birds and stuff. It's absolutely beautiful around. Um, we are out in the middle of the woods. We do have some neighbors nearby, but not many. So it is glorious. Anyway, this is my first spinning video. And I'm so excited. I have been spinning about my Ashford e-spinner at Red Alder Fiber Arts show from Eugene Textiles, and I bought the Ashford e-spinner and started going down the rabbit hole in February of 2025. So, and I am new to filming, as y'all have seen from my reels on Instagram. And so, patience as I navigate getting used to doing all of this. But my goal for Tour de Fleece 2026 is stash down. So in May of 2026, I started going through my stash. And what I had done was I had created my own very own breed study, starting with Longway Homestead up in Manitoba, Canada. And I had about 6 months worth of their subscription. I didn't know how at the time to spin long draw. So some of the fiber I was spinning up, still trying to do what is called a worsted spin, or more of a short forward draft, and it wasn't working out. And so I set it aside. And then because of the tariffs that were implemented, Longway Homestead is a small company, and they get their fleeces from all over, their sheep fleeces from all over Canada, and then they arrive as carted roving, and shipping to the US just was not financially sustainable for them, and I absolutely do not blame them. So I put it out into the universe that I wanted to become part of another breed study, but in between that and finding a new breed study to be part of, I bought a lot of single breed fiber from different fiber festivals that I went to, and online as well. And so I have quite a collection. And then in January of this year, I signed up for the Darn Knit Anyway Breed of the Month Club. They're out of Stillwater, Minnesota, and they have a Facebook page for our group. And I've been much better about keeping on top of that and actually spinning up those fibers in a month's time. But all of the festivals that I want to go to are coming up. Flock and Fiber Festival in Seattle at the end of July, beginning of August. And then the Spokane Fleece and Fiber Festival, which is the end of September. The Pacific Northwest Expo, which is in Port Angeles, Washington, at the first weekend in October. And right now, that's it. So I made the decision that I was going to stash down. That, again, is my goal for Tour de Fleece for July 2026. Well, a funny thing happened during this prep to stash down, and I might get interrupted because my husband is out with our dog playing on the property. So I started spinning, and I have my stats. So in June, I spun 857 grams of fiber. A lot of it is single breed. And then there was a combo spin from a Nest Fiber Advent that I got for Valentine's Day that I finished spinning. So the last 128 grams is part of that 857 gram total. But I did some pretty great stash down, I gotta tell you, and I apologize for the rustling. There is there are three things that are not finished yet. And when I say finished, all of this single breed that I'm going to talk about is, I just finished pulling this off into skeins on my nitty knotty, and this has not been washed or thwacked. So this is not technically finished, but it is off my bobbins so that I am ready, because it is currently July 3rd. And so tomorrow Tour de Fleece starts. So the nest fiber, I'll have to insert a picture because the nest fiber was a sweater spin, which was about 1,800 grams or 1,800 yards. I apologize. And I don't have that with me here in the trailer because it's already finished. It's already washed. It's already flacked and dried and labeled and ready to actually swatch for my sweater projects that I have planned, which I'll talk about in a later video. I am looking over at Wilma, who is, she is my Ashford Traveler 3. So she's my traditional double treadle wheel, and she has the second half of the Darn It Anyway breed study for June Lonk that has 27 grams left for me to spin. And then underneath that is Longway Homestead Targi Roving, and that's about like 110, 111 grams. And so I'm counting that as June. That will get plied in August with all of this fiber that I'm planning on spinning up that I'm going to show you for July's 2026 Tour de Fleece, which is July 4th through July 26th. So it's about 23 days. There are rest days and there are race days, I believe challenge days that are within that. My rest days are going to be a little bit different because we travel so we're traveling, and we'll have a couple days where we'll be in the truck towing to our next destination. And so I know for sure there's going to be 3 days where I might not meet my goal of spinning 50 grams per day in those 23 days. But like I said, I didn't have lofty goals for June. I just kept spinning to try to get through and stash down, because I am really interested in starting to process raw fiber from starting to finish. So I want to purchase some fleece at the Flock Fiber Festival in Seattle and process that on my own. And so getting this pre-prepared single breed fiber out of my stash and spun has just been so amazing. I'm so proud of myself. So I have Fin Cross from Skagit Woolen Works. It's just so bouncy and squishy. I have the remainder of my Rideau Arcot roving from Longway Homestead. I have a Romney from White Lotus Farms out in the Olympic Peninsula. This I purchased at Bizarre Girl Yarns up in Port Townsend. If you are close, you have to go see Carrie. Oh my gosh, she has so much fiber. So lots of great relationships with the sheep farmers up in the Olympic Peninsula. This is the remainder of Wensleydale roving from Longway Homestead. This is, and I'm going to butcher this, it's Vatlus. Sorry, from the Netherlands. And I bought this on Etsy from Hearthside Fibers. And this is a full skein. That was started out as about 4 ounces. This is, so some of this, like the pulled Dorset from the Longway Homestead roving that I got for the breed of the month. Some of it I had left over. So what I do is I spin everything onto one bobbin. And then I used to chain ply. And I found that with the farm yarns, the rovings, I'm getting, or the carded fibers, I'm getting, I don't know. I didn't like the way that the chain ply was knitting up. And, as JC would tell me from Ply Magazine, your yarn's really not finished until you have actually, it's the team from Ply Magazine, and I apologize, I cannot think of the editor's name. And at this time, and I apologize, I will insert it in the comments or in the show notes below. But she had a great reel on the idea that your yarn's actually not finished until you've swatched it, because then you can't pivot and make changes to your next spin. And so I have finally learned long draw. I'm definitely not great at it, but I am doing it and I'm practicing it regularly, and taking a class on woolen spun at Flock with my sister. And so what I've been doing to make a more even 3-ply yarn is I have been rewinding my singles onto storage bobbins. Thank you, Rachel Smith, from Woolen Spinning. And I have had some left over. So I traditional 3-plied this. That's what these are. But I did have a couple, a few yards left that were on 2 bobbins, so I did a little 2-ply too. So that'll be fun to swatch up. And then this is the Lonk, which is the breed of the month for June 2026 from Darn Knit. Anyway, and that's the first half. So this is the first 57 grams. And then this is the 2-ply fin cross. And again, that's from Skagit Woolen. So I finished all of that. I still have some Icelandic that I picked up. It's from an Olympic Peninsula farm. And I got it again at Bazaar Girl Yarns in Port Townsend. And I have that second half of that Lonk to finish spinning, and that will need to be plied. And then the Targi, which is, again, it's like 110, 111 grams from the breed study from Longway Homestead. So I finished. I've got all of that, which, again, just so proud of myself for being able to really have a goal of stash down. But that was all supposed to happen this month during Tour de Fleece. So what is she gonna spin in July? Oh, don't you worry. I have a lot. So this is from Olga's Yurt of Fiber, and I picked this up at Pacific Northwest Expo. It's a carded multicolor fiber. I've already broken it down. I even made some attempts to actually go through and put it on my blending board to make a bat out of it, to see if I could get I did some sample spins just to see whether I preferred to spin it as the pencil roving or more blended, and didn't really make a difference. So I just decided, I'm just gonna spin it up. So that is Polworth combined with Targi, combined with Cormo, silk, merino, and bamboo. And I still have 274 grams of that to spin up. So I'm super excited. Again, my goal is to spin everything up on a single bobbin, and then I'll rewind them later and I will 3-ply them, traditional 3-ply them, because that I prefer how that spins up. How that swatches up when I knit it. It just feels like it's round. If there's any mistakes from thick and thin spinning, especially when I long draw, because I haven't gotten any in-person help. I've been taking my courses through School of Sweet Georgia, through the Ply Guild from Ply Magazine, and anywhere else I can find, even here on YouTube, free information on spinning. So I pay for classes. I'm part of the Woolen Spinning Patreon. I pay for classes. It's an investment for me to be better at my craft, but there are a lot of free tutorials on YouTube. And then this, I did an earlier reel about. This is part of a bat that my sister picked up for me in San Francisco for my birthday. So it's rainbow. It's from Heathered Yarn Co. made it. It's Corriedale, Merino, Falkland, and Sparkles. And I've done some reels on that and how I'm breaking it down to spin it. And it's 110 grams that I have to spin of that. This is, and I cannot remember the name of their new company, but if you do an internet search for Blarney yarn, it will come up. I want to say it's like the 226 Club, or I don't know. I'll put it in the show notes. But this has a great story. So I had taken a class on color management in spinning last year at Flock and Fiber. And so my goal was to learn about combo spinning. And so I went to Blarney Yarns to get some braids because her colors are amazing. Anyway, I'm having that memory of being in the booth and then that's why I'm putting my head in my hands, trying to make the decision, like, what am I going to buy? Everything is beautiful, but there are so many booths at Flock and Fiber that I wanted to make sure that I spread my dollars multiple places. So I still have not done a combo spin from her fiber, so that's still a goal. But this is Border Leicester and BFL Cross Roving that they carded. So they carded up. So the story is, when I went to check out buying my hand-dyed braids, was these were sitting in little bags, this and another that was a cream color, which I've already spun up. And she said they had gone to an Airbnb or VRBO over in Eastern Washington that was a sheep farm. And the gal at Blarney Yarn who was checking me out asked the owners of the farm if they had any fleece for sale, and they did. So they took them out to the barn, and I'm not telling the story great, but they wound up buying some fleeces from this farm owner, and they drum carded up. They, processed the fiber, drum carded it up. And so I bought a few bags of that. So this, I have 99 grams of that. And again, the other one that was across, it was a cream color. I already spun that up. Again, before I really learned how to long draw, my long draw journey. Oh, this is just more Olga's Farmier, 274 grams. That is a big amount of fiber. So here you go. Okay. And so I have a few months left of my Breed of the Month study from Longway Homestead. And so this is BFL Roving. So today I'm spending the day actually breaking this all down into little nests so that I am just ready to get on my wheels and spin, baby, spin. This is, BFL Roving is 111 grams. And this is Skagit Woolen Roving. So I bought 4 ounces of this last year, 6 ounces of this last year. I tried to buy more at Red Alder. All she had was 2 ounces. She said she'd have more at Flock and Fiber. So I'm definitely going to purchase it there. It is 60% alpaca, 30% targi, and 10% silk in the color mocha. If you can get your hands on this prep, it is so nice. So I've already spun up my other 6 ounces. I have 2 more ounces to spin. And then I've made a 27 color snood several years ago. And I'm going to use that shape, that pattern, and I am going to use this yarn. It's going to be so warm, toasty warm, and I'm so excited. So this is, I've got to look at my list here. I have it in my notebook, and I have it in my phone. 59 grams. So there's that. That'll be like a snack size. That's going to be like one day of spinning. And then this is Border Cheviot from Longway Homestead. Again, I've still got to break all this down. Carded Roving. Ooh, and the last little bit is Shetland Roving, also from Longway Homestead. And the Border Cheviot's about 107 grams, and this Shetland, which is like kind of a light gray brown, is 110 grams. So, I missed a whole thing that here it is. And then this one I'm finishing up. So this one I started, I want to say back in May. I purchased 4 ounces of this It's 70% merino, 15% yak, and 15% silk from Siren of the Skeins booth, having Cindy Pigeon. She's out of Oregon. And I bought this at Pacific Northwest Expo in Port Angeles last year. It is the softest, yummiest cloud of fiber. So I started spinning this up, and with the idea in mind that I already have this cabled tank top from, oh, I'm going to have to put it in the show notes. She has the Rowdy tank, and then Wanderlust Knitter, as I believe is her handle. And she has the Smithfield vest, and this is all of the fiber I'm going to spin up, and I'm going to make that Smithfield vest. So I have 170 grams left to spin that I'll count towards my total for. And that is not all broken down. I still have to break all that down too into little nests. So with my goal of spinning 50 grams every day for the 23 days, knowing I've got a few rest days, I have 1,040 grams with all of this to spin. I'm going to try to finish my Lonk spin today, but I do have some snacks that I'm going to do. I've been processing some merino that I had gotten, some merino fleece that I had gotten from my spinning instructor, Zori, and I finally got all the lanolin out of it. So I've been flick carding it with the goal of putting it on my blending board, and then I have some bamboo and some silk that I'm going to mix in it. So it's going to be like 80% merino with 10% silk and 10% bamboo. So I'm going to actually, stuff's falling off the shelf. So today I'm going to hand card up a sample of that. So that'll be a little snack that I'm gonna spin up, just maybe like 25 grams, just to see if I like it. And then I have another rainbow fiber bat that I am going to make up. I have everything with me here in the trailer. I've got my blending board. I have it's BFL, hand-dyed BFL, and I have silk. That's what I'm going to mix it with. Yeah, I have silk. So I am super excited about that. So I'm going to make a bat of that fiber. And the goal with that is, in my previous reel, was to show how this fiber was layered differently than how I'm going to make a rainbow bat, and then how it actually looks as a finished spin for both of them. So that's that. And then I will be plying my little heart out in August or end of July after the Tour de Fleece ends. I'm not sure that I'm going to do Tour de Femme. I believe that's like another 9 days after the Tour de France ends. But yeah, so, and we're right now keeping track of everything that's going on in the soccer bowl, as my husband has coined it. And we haven't been watching a ton of games, but we're keeping track of it. So, we've got Tour de France coming up. You got the soccer bowl. Like, there's a lot going on in the sports world right now that's exciting. Yeah, and I'm just excited to spend with people from all over the U.S. and Canada and all over the world. So I am part of Melly Knits Stash Dashers. This is my 2nd year in a row. And I'm also part of the Darn Knit Anyway Tour de Fleece group. I joined that. And theirs is a little more. So Melly Knits, I just post, I'll put, post a picture of what I'm spinning on a certain day. And I have really bad reception out here, so I'm not going to be doing that this weekend. I'll do that on Sunday when I get home, or Monday morning. And so I'll post to my stories what I spun on day 1, day 2. And then I just tag Melly Knits. My sister's also in Stash Dasher, so I'm excited about that. And then she gives away these amazing prizes. And so that's how you keep involved. You keep posting and you tag her, and then she regrams you, and it's fun. I'm actually part, so of her Discord, and then I will be part of a group of Stash Dashers in the Instagram DMs, and I met some really great people last year, and we've stayed in communication, and we follow each other on Instagram, and so it's really relaxed and easy. There's no challenge of like, you have to spin this, you have to tell us how many grams you spin, how many yards you spin, but I wanted a little bit of a challenge, so darn it anyway, we post not only what we spun that day, but exactly how many grams. So that's why I've been weighing everything out, so that I know, like, when I start tomorrow, whatever I'm working on, at the end of the day, I'll weigh what I have left, so I know exactly how many grams that I spun for that day. So super excited. I'm putting my knitting aside, except on the days where we travel, where I am a passenger princess, when we tow our trailer to go camping, and I knit while I'm on the road. So I have 2 DRK everyday cardigans that I have left to finish, and I have to order, actually, I can tell I'm going to be running out of the yarn from one of them, so I have to get another skein of that yarn. And I have 2 pairs of socks I'm working on, and I think that's it. I think that's it. Normally I have way more knitting whips on the needles, but I just finished my most recent Alpine Bloom that I'll wear to Flock and Fiber Festival, and I have not started my tee that I'm going to be spinning or knitting, and the tank that I'm going to be knitting from that big sweater spin that I did from that Nest Advent. So I still have to swatch all that up. So again, I'm Curdy. I am brand new to this YouTube spinning world, not entirely brand new to the spinning world. Still would love to learn how to film me actually spinning. I've got to learn. I get the opportunity to learn all about video editing so that I can throw up pictures and things like that. And so welcome to episode 1 of Curdy's Journey. I am a knitter. I've been knitting since, I started knitting when I learned how to knit when I was 6, and knit a little bit, then knit more through college, kind of put my needles down when I first started my career, and then picked my needles back up in 2000 and have never looked back. I am a prolific knitter. I love it. And I'm so grateful that my sister quietly encouraged me to start spinning, because it has absolutely become my passion. And I spin to make yarn for my beloved knitters in my life. And I also spin to make yarn to knit for myself, my husband, and other people in my life who are knitworthy, frankly. So that is what I have. I'm sure I will think about more. I wish you all the best on your journey for Tour de Fleece. Please comment below on what you will be spinning during Tour de Fleece and which groups you are spinning with, or if you're just spinning on your own. You can follow me on Instagram at curtys.journey. I will put the link to that down in the show notes. And if you enjoy this, know that I am going to work very hard to be back on a more regular basis. So I'd love it if you would subscribe and click like and let me know you're here. All right. Have a great day.